right now on ZTN Prime, channel 294 on DSTV. My name is Wadzanai Sansole, and these are your top stories. President Mnangagwa has implored the private sector to take bold steps in wealth creation. He made the remarks during the Zanu PF Politburo meeting in Harare today. Now, Newsplus will also give you details on the president's commitment to equip the health sector as he handed over 10 ambulances meant for the country's 10 provinces earlier today. Newsplus will also give you a story of 4 key ambassadorial appointments made by President Mnangagwa today. Also on Newsplus, authorities are taking steps to minimize losses after wheat harvests by utilizing combine harvesters as the winter wheat harvesting season begins. And in sport, Zimbabwean sprinters Tapiwa Nashe Makarau and Makanaka Eshe Charamba have powered their way into the World Athletics men's 200-meter semis. A closer look at the stories making the headlines. The Zanu PF First Secretary and President, Emmerson Mnangagwa, says the private sector should take bold steps in driving wealth creation, while stressing that the party will closely monitor progress on its funded projects. He said this at the Zanu PF Politburo meeting in Harare, where he was also treated to a belated birthday celebration. Our correspondent Iban Mabunda, who was at the party headquarters, gives us more.
Now, President Emmerson Mnangagwa, who is also the first secretary of the ruling party Zanu PF, presided over the 387th edition of the Politburo in Zimbabwe's capital, Harare. In his address, the president called upon critical ministries to give reports on the state of governance in their respective ministries. A special highlight was on the Ministry of Transport, which was called upon to give an indication of the state of progress where the railway subsector is concerned.
That meeting resolved that we invite critical ministries of our government to give the party detailed update reports on the critical issues which affect the day-to-day lives of the generality of our people. Accordingly, the Minister of Transport is expected to make a presentation on the state of the transport sector today and the railway network in particular.
Turning to party discipline, President Mnangagwa underscored the need to safeguard Zimbabwe's hard-won independence. He said this demands the utmost discipline from all those serving in public office, stressing that corruption and excesses that alienate leaders from the people will not be condoned.
We should never accept laxity, lethargy, and laissez-faire attitude to creep into the manner the party governs itself. We must exercise stringent self-regulation and discipline across the party membership, especially among office bearers.
On matters of economic interest, the president said the party will intensify tracking mechanisms on Zanu PF-funded projects to ensure accountability and delivery.
We must never window dress our projects. Real transformational and evident impacts must be seen on the ground. United at heart, in mind and vision with all people. Vision 2030 is achievable. There is no going back, comrades.
The writing is on the wall, a strong call for self-regulation and discipline by party members, especially among office bearers. This comes against the backdrop of preparations for the 22nd Zanu PF conference slated for Mutare next month, which are now in full swing. Before the official business of the day, Zanu PF staff and senior party members honored the president on his 83rd birthday. The short event featured live music from saxophonist Danielson Musekiwa, singing and dancing much to the president's delight.
Your Excellency, we are aware that you celebrated this birthday in Zishawan, but as the Shona adage is put across so eloquently and succinctly, Zokororo ine masimba. So we have thought to celebrate this birthday with members of your staff. Yes.
The president, impressed by the unexpected gesture, expressed his gratitude to the party.
Thank you very much. I want to congratulate everybody for this gesture, for celebrating me and my family, my 83rd birthday. Let me assure you that this is the grace of God. It's not my design or anybody's design. It's the will of God that I reached that age.
Ibn Mabunda for ZTN Prime at the Zanu PF headquarters in Harare.
Now, President Emmerson Mnangagwa today handed over 10 ambulances meant for the country's 10 provinces to Health Minister Dr. Douglas Mombeshwara at State House. He also handed over vehicles and cash to Zanu PF provincial chairpersons. The ambulances, vehicles and cash were donated by businessman Wicknell Chivayo to the president recently on his 83rd birthday. More details in the following report.
The ambulances are valued at 90,000 United States dollars each. They are designed to bring comprehensive health care to the scene of the emergency, rather than just transport a patient to a health institution.
We have ventilators inside. And if they enter in shock, we also have to put ventilators to shock them. Electrolyte. Okay. Yes. Yes. So the idea is to, instead of just driving an ambulance to the scene, we are saying let's drive the hospital to the scene. Yes. Okay. So that once this arrives, the patients can survive.
The fleet of 10 ambulances will go to serve at Zimbabwe's provincial hospitals. As he inspected the fleet, President Mnangagwa told journalists that his government remains committed to equipping the health sector with resources it needs to keep afloat.
Well, as you can see, we are doing our best under the Second Republic to make sure we have the required equipment in the medical sector to attend to any emergencies across the board in every province. I understand this is the high-tech medical ambulance available on the market, and we have it here in Zimbabwe. Yes.
Health and Childcare Minister Dr. Mombeshwara says the donation is a boost to Zimbabwe's health sector. The ambulances are equipped with intensive care unit tools and will require trained individuals to operate them.
Tinoona muintensive care zvinoreva kuti nyange munhu anorwara stirek anogona kupinda anogona kuiswa chubu yekubatsirwa kufema nayo obatsirwa kufema nemaequipment arumu zvese zvekutarisa bp shuga nekuti ari kufema zvakadi zvirimo saka ambulensi yakakosha haisi ambulensi yekunogara wakapaka kumusha nokuti inoda munhu also ari trained kukwanisa kuzvishandisa zvinhu zvacho.
President Mnangagwa also handed over Toyota Land Cruisers and 100,000 United States dollars to each of the 10 Zanu PF provincial chairpersons. The vehicles and cash will be used by the provinces to ease the ruling party's operations.
Next year? Mad South.
Sharon Mujinjema for ZTN News at State House.
Now on to some diplomatic issues. President Emmerson Mnangagwa has announced a series of strategic diplomatic deployments. The appointments in a government gazette include the deployment of senior envoys Lovemo Mazemo, who has been appointed as Zimbabwe's ambassador to South Africa. Isaac Moyo, a seasoned diplomat and former intelligence chief, will take up the role of ambassador to the United Arab Emirates. Now in Washington, David Douglas Hamadziripi has been named Zimbabwe's ambassador to the United States, where he is expected to lead efforts to improve diplomatic engagement. Now the other appointment is Patrick Ronald Mutasa, who is now Zimbabwe's ambassador to Cuba. And all these appointments underscore the government's ongoing commitment to re-engage with the international community and promote Zimbabwe's foreign policy objectives on the global stage. Now, moving on to other news, the government has developed a strategy to reduce post-harvest losses through availing combine harvesters as the winter wheat season commences. And over 48 hectares have been harvested in Masvingo and Matebeleland South Province, while in Mashonaland Central, the yield is approximately 5 tons per hectare. The Chief Director of the Agricultural and Rural Development Advisory Services, Leonard Mnamati, he said that the farmers have to ensure that they are linked to the 21 mechanization clusters, where about 300 combine harvesters were dispatched.
Harvesting of wheat is now started in several provinces. We know that in the Masvingo province, they are harvesting, and over 48 hectares has been harvested there with a yield of over 6.1 metric tons per hectare. In Matabeleland South, in the Mat South, we know that over 48 hectares has been harvested at Antelope, and the yield there is very good at over 7.8 metric tons per hectare. In Maternal and Central, we also know that harvesting is taking place, and the yield is averaging over 5 tons per hectare. So we are quite excited that harvesting is started on time, and we encourage our farmers to make sure that they are linked to those with combine harvesters, so that the harvesting process goes on smoothly. We don't want harvesting to be affected by the rains.
Now, Mnamati said they are delighted about the stage of harvests in the country and urged farmers to test the moisture content of the grain before sending it to the Grain Marketing Board.
We are also saying farmers should test the moisture of the grain before they send it to their Grain Marketing Board or to any other contractors. It is very, very important. So we are actually happy with the current status of harvesting, and we've got a plan where farmers should be linked to the available combine harvesters.
Now, farmers have been urged to make use of research institutions to improve their productivity through acquiring research-based information to apply in their farming activities. And this call was made during a visit to Grasslands Research Institute in Marondera, where the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Itai Ndudzo, visited the research facility.
We want to promote and put more resources towards enhancing our laboratory, not just from a production point of view, but even also from a business and marketing point of view. We want a science-based approach to agriculture. It's no longer business as usual, where people measure the size of their agricultural business by the size of their hectarage. We now need to be able to look at the output per hectare and the quality even of the kilograms that you get out of livestock. But that requires support and science. I've also been very pleased to note that at Grasslands we have a lot of experts, and more can be done from our side as the state to give them the resources so that they have the capital to be able to do more for the nation.
Meanwhile, the research station head challenged farmers to implement a participatory approach by engaging agricultural extension workers as well as the researchers for research-based skills to boost their production.
I just want to emphasize the value of research, innovation and development for the farmer. Farmers do face challenges in terms of like when they're feeding the animals, growing feed for the animals. So those challenges can only be addressed if they bring in their problems to the researchers. And when you look at the problems together, we call it a participatory approach. The farmer, the extension worker, and the researcher. We look at that. It's a feed. They believe it can be utilized for animals. We have the facilities here to test the animals, and then give them the results. And as they are going throughout the season, whether it be livestock production or growing feed for animals, we can work with the farmer so that we actually zero in on the challenges which they face. Our recommendations, the good thing about it is that we have done research in the lab, we have compared with other standards, so that whatever recommendations we are giving the farmer, these are proven facts and figures, so the farmer will not go wrong.
Over 60,000 Zimbabweans blind from cataract. That story is still to come.
This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come. Let's go!
Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect and stay connected to DSTV Compact and get the best football on us.
The Zanu PF Finance Subcommittee invites you to exhibit at the 22nd Zanu PF National People's Conference Business Expo. The expo will be held at Mutare Polytechnic in Manicaland Province from the 13th to the 18th of October 2025. It will be running under the theme Attainment of Vision 2030 through Economic Empowerment and Value Addition. The Business Expo brings together delegates, national politicians, business experts, policymakers and implementers, potential partners, investors and customers. The pricing structure is as follows: 6 by 3 meter cubicle, $6,000 or ZiG equivalent; 3 by 3 meter cubicle, $3,000 or ZiG equivalent. For more details, contact our coordinators on the following numbers: 0772-381-756 or 0773-289-501, landline 0242-752-936 and 774-16104. Pamberine Zanu PF. Pambili le Zanu PF. Forward with Zanu PF.
You're watching Wednesday's edition of Newsplus. Thank you very much for staying tuned. Now, continuing with our local updates, an estimated 125,000 people are affected by blindness in Zimbabwe, and half of the figure is believed to be suffering from preventable blindness, with cataracts being cited as the leading cause. Now, while the figure is growing, a new partnership is bringing hope to thousands of patients. Talent Gore gives us more in the following report.
According to the World Health Organization, 62,500 people are suffering from cataracts, a condition that is both preventable and treatable. To tackle this burden, Old Mutual Zimbabwe, in partnership with the Eye Institute, have launched a countrywide program of free eye clinics. This year alone, they aim to perform over 300 cataract surgeries.
The Zimbabwe National Eye Health Strategy 2021 to 2025 sets a clear path to combat leading causes of blindness, including cataracts, glaucoma, eye trauma, and uncorrected refractive errors in our children. The World Health Organization estimates that 125,000 Zimbabweans, that is about 1% of our population, are blind. And of these, 62,500 cases are due to cataracts alone.
The program builds on a successful pilot held in Manicaland last year, where over 100 cataract surgeries restored sight to elderly citizens and vulnerable groups.
Looking ahead, government is committed to doing its part, but we recognize that no one can do it alone. Private partnership, such as the one we are witnessing today, are vital to ensuring healthcare services are accessible, sustainable, and inclusive. Old Mutual and the Eye Institute have shown that the private sector can step forward with resources, expertise, and innovation to complement government efforts.
With more than 300 free cataract surgeries planned this year, organizers say they are not just restoring sight, but transforming lives.
The success of the pilot program has motivated us to scale up the initiative in 2025. So far, we have completed screenings in Harare, focusing on Machipisa, Glenora, and Mavugo, which are long-established suburbs where we believe most elderly reside.
Eye specialist Dr. Misha says the Eye Institute staff has been working tirelessly to prepare for the expanded program across Harare, Manicaland, and Midlands.
This leadership and clearly would want to integrate this program into primary health care. So going forward, we're hoping that this becomes an ongoing program for the next foreseeable future. We also hope that other corporates can team up with other partners in terms of us coming to the call for government in helping them deliver health to our citizens.
By combining resources and technical expertise, the partnership between Old Mutual and the Eye Institute is offering hope to thousands at risk of preventable blindness. For ZTN Prime, I am Talent Gori in Harare.
Now, in other news, Zimbabwe wants nuclear technology to be transferred to developing nations. Now, nuclear energy protects air quality by producing massive amounts of carbon-free electricity. It contributes to many non-electric applications, ranging from medical fields to space surveys. This was said by Energy and Power Development Deputy Minister Yokai Simbanegavi at the ongoing 69th Regular General Conference of the International Atomic Energy Agency in Vienna.
Between the agency and the World Bank aimed at increasing international support to developing countries looking to finance nuclear power projects. Mr. President, my delegation is grateful for the continued support offered by the agency through the technical cooperation pillar, and on our part, we will endeavor to meet our obligations. Zimbabwe is particularly grateful.
Still with health matters, maternal deaths have long been a concern among women from apostolic sect communities who often gave birth in shrines without trained midwives. And in Shamva, a new partnership between the Ministry of Health and the Vadzidzi va Jesu Church has established the Center Zimbabwe Africa Clinic within church grounds. Our correspondent from Bizai Zinyuke has the details.
For decades, women from apostolic sect communities gave birth in shrines and at home, guided only by faith and untrained midwives. Many lives were lost, but today in Shamva, Zimbabwe's Mashonaland Central Province, that story is being rewritten. 29-year-old Gracious Kachepa is among dozens of mothers-to-be now finding comfort at the Center Zimbabwe Africa Clinic, built within church grounds.
chakanaka nekuti kubatsirika zvakawanda sekuti sezvamunogona kuti pachechi tineti saka manesi atinawo vadzidzi futi vatonga maternal saka unenge uchitibatawo zvakanaka tinokwanisa kusununguka kubatsirwa nekubvunza.
The facility was born out of a partnership between the Ministry of Health and the Johani Masowe Vadzidzi va Jesu Church in 2022. It transformed a maternity home into a fully fledged clinic right at the heart of the community.
Takaona isusu kuti sezvo chechi yedu yakagara yakati kana masangana nezvimwe zvinhu izvi zvinofanana nekuti munhu arwara manyoka, munhu arwara neTB, munhu arwara nemalaria, munogona kumuendesa kuimba yevaeni kureva kuzvipatara. Takaona zvisina chakaipa kuti imba ino yakabva yaitwa matene, takabva tavaka imba ino chitira kuti vana mai vachisunungukira pakanaka panokuti vanongotenderedzwa njira.
Maternal deaths remain a national concern. A latest survey reveals that Zimbabwe's maternal mortality has dropped to 212 deaths per 100,000 live births. But for rural women, especially in apostolic sects, the risk remains high.
So this clinic was established in August 2022 to cater for the setbacks, the challenges that we're facing from sort of resistance from the apostolic sector in health-seeking behavior. But as from the establishment of this clinic in August 2022, we managed to engage the leaders of the church and the community. So the engagement brought about some success.
vari kuzogara kure vari kuita dambudziko rekuti vanozosvika kuchipatara vatosunungukira murodhi. Pano unouya unogara mazuva ako akusvika akwana.
The clinic has also boosted childhood immunizations and opened doors for treatment of chronic illnesses like hypertension and diabetes.
Home deliveries
akadzikira iye zvino amashomesa nekuda kuti vakwanisa kushandisa facility yedu semapostori vamwe vanenge vaitya kumashure but nekuda kuchekesa facility yaapano musangano mumapostori macho vakunzwisisa the impact yekunge vachishandisa facility yedu.
By respecting the faith traditions while providing professional care, the partnership has turned a shrine of prayer into a sanctuary of life. For ZTN Prime, I am Rumbidza Izinyuke in Shamva.
Moving on from that health update, network connectivity has given a huge boost to the motorbike business in Guruve after the community benefited from the cell tower relocation program. Now, this initiative is prioritizing relocating cell towers to communities that once struggled to get network connectivity.
For years, a number of areas in Guruve district were almost dead zones, not quite connected to the rest of the country and world. Mobile network was as scarce as gold dust. It was just as precious. In Nyamuseve, local shops and a bus stop are the major landmarks, a hub for motorcycle commuter operators who camp here, wait to ferry customers from one point to the other. For these motorcycle operators, connectivity is essential. That's how they arrange pickups with their clients, be it parcels sent from Harare and need to be delivered, or people wanting a ride from point A to point B.
Business network inotokosha zvakanyanyisa. Kuburikidza nokuti munhu anenge aine emergency kana network yakabalanza munongotaura mubva makasira kusangana nemunhu. Kana chinhu chida kutorwa chishangodzika pabhazi, mamwe mabhazi anofamba usiku kubva uko. Tinoita connection yekuti ukwanise kusangana nebhazi woburusa luggage iri kuburuka.
This man here started his business a decade ago. Back then, cell phone network coverage was nearly non-existent. He often had to patch himself at the highest point in the area just to get a signal and communicate with his clients. And every time he would come back down with a single hope that the details shared by his client hadn't changed.
Nini 44 years ndiri muno. So kubva past 10 years network yaitinetsa taiwanawo yende zvokuenda noungano mugomo kana kudi.
In recent years, fortunes have taken a turn for the better for these transporters. A newly relocated tower, just meters from their base, has transformed their daily operations, making communication faster, easier, and more reliable. The recent developments were undertaken under Porter's Tower Relocation Project. The project encourages the sharing of one cell tower by all the country's mobile operators. Co-located towers are de-rigged and relocated to sites that have no network connectivity.
So this is one of the initiatives by Portras to relocate towers to sites that have no network connectivity.
Porter's Director General Dr. Gift Machengeta says the project will continue to prioritize connecting the unconnected and underserved areas in the country.
Tower relocation project has been moving on very, very well. So far, we have relocated 30 towers, and these 30 are already on air. We are in the process of completing those which are under construction.
Technology has become essential for motorbike business operators, and the recent launch of a booster just a few meters from the local shops has boosted the local businesses for both operators and its clients. For ZTN Prime, I am Satachi Siwegwaza, Guruwe.
That was an update on the network connectivity in Guruve. Now, in other news, the church has taken a leading role towards complementing government efforts aimed at affording children with special needs standardized learning facilities. And speaking to ZTN Prime at the Ezekiel Guti Junior Legacy School Corporate Fundraising Day that was held recently, Sayoja Forward in Faith Church Archbishop Dr. Yuna Guti said the construction of a school for children with disabilities will afford them a unique opportunity to meet their different needs.
Protect vana iva tibatsirane kuvachengeta and ndinotenda kuti nenyika yedu ino proud kuona kuti tine vana vedu vari kuchengetwa vasingabhiriswi.
When Newsplus returns, we'll give you updates from the world around us.
Got some questions about Showmax? Well, we've got the answers. What is Showmax? Showmax is not a TV channel. It's a streaming service with tons of hit series, movies, and more. Plus, Premier League live on mobile. Just pick what you want and hit play. No schedule or airing times. With Showmax, you watch what you want, when you want, and where you want. For any other queries, find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, or TikTok.
The Zanu PF Finance Subcommittee invites you to exhibit at the 22nd Zanu PF National People's Conference Business Expo. The expo will be held at Mutare Polytechnic in Manicaland Province from the 13th to the 18th of October 2025. It will be running under the theme Attainment of Vision 2030 through Economic Empowerment and Value Addition. The Business Expo brings together delegates, national politicians, business experts, policymakers and implementers, potential partners, investors and customers. The pricing structure is as follows: 6 by 3 meter cubicle, $6,000 or ZiG equivalent; 3 by 3 meter cubicle, $3,000 or ZiG equivalent. For more details, contact our coordinators on the following numbers: 0772-381-756 or 0773-289-501. Landline 0242-752-936 and 774-16104. Pamberine Zanu PF. Pambili le Zanu PF. Forward with Zanu PF.
Harare. Tune into the beat.
Capitalk 100.4 FM, your source for news, business, sports, fashion, and more.
Experience the pulse of Harare's culture and lifestyle.
Capitalk 100.4 FM, Harare's top radio station.
Join the conversation with Zimbabwe's top personalities.
Subscribe now for fresh and infotainment content daily.
Capital 100.4 FM, Harare's heartbeat.
Coming to you live from Harare, Newsplus now gives you your global updates. More than 7.2 million Malawans went to the polls on Tuesday in a tightly contested general election, casting ballots for the presidency and 229 parliamentary seats and 509 local council positions. Now, the vote featured 17 presidential contenders. Polling stations opened at 6 a.m. and closed at 4 p.m. local time, with long queues reported nationwide as voters turned out in large numbers to choose new leadership across all levels of government. Now, as the polls closed, ballot counting began immediately, with first round results expected within 8 days. And in other news, a United Nations Commission official has urged Israel to uphold its obligations under international law and hold responsible parties accountable for the crime of genocide in the Gaza Strip. The UN Independent International Commission of Inquiry on the Occupied Palestinian Territory, including East Jerusalem and Israel, concluded in its latest report that Israel has committed genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. Now, the report alleges that Israeli authorities and security forces have violated the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide adopted by the UN in 1948.
But the facts are 60,000, 65,000 dead at least, of whom at least 20,000 are children. These deaths are not accidents. They are not collateral damage. They are the direct consequence of a military strategy of saturation bombing and scorched earth when it comes to the infrastructure of Gaza and the people of Gaza. We are told that the number of children that have had one or both legs and arms amputated is greater than in any other conflict this century. Certainly we know the number of children who have lost one or both parent. The trauma, the psychological trauma for children will last their whole lives. And it's time that it stopped. And it's time that those who were responsible for this were held accountable.
President of Iran's Atomic Energy Organization, Mohammad Eslami, has called for the establishment of a new verification modality with the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, citing threats to Iranian nuclear facilities under military strikes. Now, Eslami was speaking on the sidelines of the 69th General Conference of the IAEA, which opened on Monday in Vienna and focused on the peaceful use of nuclear energy and technology and the urgent need to protect the global nuclear non-proliferation regime.
When everything is destroyed, what should be inspected? Everything is destroyed. What they want to be inspected? What they are looking for? There should be a procedural method, should be negotiated, concluded, and designed in order to resume the inspection, and this is the time for which we have called it as a modality. So this modality should be taken at force in the future.
Those were the global updates we had for you, but still to come in business news, Hema Cement to inject $60 million in Kaya rescue deal.
This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come. Let's go!
Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect and stay connected to DSTV Compact and get the best football on us.
The Zanu PF Finance Subcommittee invites you to exhibit at the 22nd Zanu PF National People's Conference Business Expo. The expo will be held at Mutare Polytechnic in Manicaland Province from the 13th to the 18th of October 2025. It will be running under the theme Attainment of Vision 2030 through Economic Empowerment and Value Addition. The Business Expo brings together delegates, national politicians, business experts, policymakers and implementers, potential partners, investors and customers. The pricing structure is as follows: 6 by 3 meter cubicle, $6,000 or ZIG equivalent; 3 by 3 meter cubicle, $3,000 or ZIG equivalent. For more details, contact our coordinators on the following numbers: 0772 381 756 or 0773 289 501, landline 0242 752 936 and 774 16104. Pamberine Zanu PF. Pambili le Zanu PF. Forward with Zanu PF.
Captain Wally J's about to take you to boot camp.
It's the riveting science and tech show that keeps you up to date with the hottest gizmos on the block and revealing the illustrious and innovative visionaries in Zimbabwe. So much to see, you'll keep swiping.
This cherry red beauty is the Dairy Auto M7 mini electric car.
We've designed our Newsplus incubator board.
Look at what we've got here.
Solar powered scarecrow was part of the project that I was supposed to complete.
Catch Swipe every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. on ZTN Prime, DSTV channel 294. Get the picture?
It's time now to take a look at what's happening in the world of business. Kaya Cement Limited, formerly Lafarge, has approved Uganda's Hima Cement as the new investor to inject over $60 million while buying out major shareholder Fossil Mining under its corporate rescue plan. Now, our business correspondent, Melissa Chatikobo, gives us the details.
Lafarge Cement rebranded to Kaya Cement in 2023 after Fossil Mining's takeover. But the company has been weighed down by nearly 70 million United States dollars debts. Entering corporate rescue earlier this year, the firm has now secured Hima Cement, a major East African producer, to inject fresh capital for debt settlement and working capital.
The incoming of a new shareholder, which is Hima Cement, that's coming out of Kenya and Uganda. That's where their main operations are. They'll be investing into the business. So the indicative results of that meeting are that the approval was granted, and the process is to add Hima Cement as an investor underway.
Kaya expects to restore a healthy balance sheet within 6 months.
Investor will inject working capital into the business and expedite the process of running the new kiln, the refurbished kiln, and then carry forward the business there. So this will see Kaya Cement in the short term stopping all the imports of clinker and producing their own clinker.
With Zimbabwe's infrastructure boom driving cement demand, analysts say Hima Cement has a strong opportunity to expand in the local market.
Payments in the construction industry now have become more, they are now increasingly denominated in USD. So all that speaks to, Hima coming in at a point where things have never been better for the business in terms of economic conditions.
The deal marks a turning point for Kaya Cement, offering a fresh start while strengthening competition in Zimbabwe's cement industry. Reporting for ZTM Prime, I am Melissa Chatkubo in Harare. In other business news, Zimbabwe must adopt a cautious, evidence-based approach to de-dollarization and not expect the process to be complete by 2030. This came out at the ongoing Zimbabwe Economic Development Conference, ZEDCON, and Professor Charlotte Buitendeg, who moderated a key panel, said that while there is a consensus on the need to escape the dollar trap, there is a need to first have all the answers on how to proceed and move forward. She argues for an integrated rather than silo-based perspective.
My takeaways is that there is an urgency amongst policy leaders, amongst academia, amongst every role player in Zimbabwe to move away and to be released from this dollar trap, meaning that we don't have this reinforcing policy going forward and this trap into dollarization. So it's not about getting rid of dollars. It's about putting it in the right place where it belongs as a possible competitive asset in our economy, along other potential currencies.
Newsplus will be right back with some entertainment news.
Catch exclusive interviews every weekday for candid, exciting and thought-provoking conversations with your host, Erika Ndoro.
We talk about arts, we can talk about sports, we can even talk about politics, and sometimes we venture into a nice guitaristic play.
The one story where you can't get out of your head. Karo mwana mnimambama mu studio. Wakatarisa muno so Erica like where you are sitting. Nozongo kona bata face so pasina muno.
Wakasiya music yako yo afro chakuti ndo music manje no Zimbabwe.
And I'm sure they're still saying the same thing now.
Yeah, so Shona kana kuti chindevere kana mumwe mutaure muno muZimbabwe ndiwe iwewe. Ndiwo rupawo rwako. Ndicho chidadiso chako.
Catch me, Erica Ndoro, right here on ZTN Prime every single Monday at 7 p.m. whilst we get exclusive.
Didn't graduate. I guess I blew it.
You couldn't advise him anything. He would just look at you and say, so who do you think you are?
We were just like really spoiled.
And then they just give me the receipt and I'd pay.
The guy walks in one day and then he says that he wants to make a movie.
He was blowing the money.
There was just like this habit that he had where as soon as he got money, it was gone.
I just didn't have the skills or the experience.
This money, I could see it disappear so fast.
You are still watching Newsplus. Thank you for staying tuned. National hero and music icon Oliver Tukum Tukuzi's 73rd birthday will be celebrated posthumously this weekend. Now, Tuku was born on September 22nd, 1952 in Highfield, Harare. He succumbed to complications related to diabetes on January 23rd in 2019 at the age of 66. And 6 years after his death, Tuku's legacy continues to be celebrated through various festivities. Friends and fans will once again gather at Pakarepaya Arts Center in Norton this weekend for the 2025 Oliver Mtukudzi International Festival of Arts, which will take center stage. Now, this year's two-day event, scheduled for September 19 and 20, returns with a star-studded lineup headlined by South African Afro-pop outfit Bongo Muffin and superstar Ja Praiser. Now, talented Bulawayo-based songstress Noluntu J is slowly becoming a favorite with the audiences in Harare, landing gig requests to perform in the capital city. This artist, who gives some Amapantsula vibe in her appearance, is performing this Saturday in the capital at the Sofa Harare edition for a culture pop-up affair. This will be the third time Noluntu J performs in Harare this year. Now, Miss International Zimbabwe, Yolanda Chimbarami, has expressed her deep sense of responsibility and pride in representing her country on the global stage. With a commitment to showcasing Zimbabwe's beauty, spirit, and resilience, Yolanda embodies the nation's values and aspirations. The 26-year-old said, quote, "With pride, responsibility, and unwavering purpose, I represent the spirit, resilience, and beauty of Zimbabwe to the world." Those were the entertainment updates we had for you this Wednesday evening, but still to come in sports, we give you an update on Makarau and Charamba, who've burst into semis at World Champs.
Dental checkups, experiments, games.
The mixture is making bubbles and the bubbles have changed color. Our balloon has been filled by carbon dioxide.
We have it all right here on Happy Sprouts. Catch us exclusively on ZTN Prime, DSTV channel 294.
They call me Racer X, or in this case, Racer J.
Did you see Boba?
Harare. Tune into the beat.
Capitalk 100.4 FM, your source for news, business, sports, fashion, and more.
Experience the pulse of Harare's culture and lifestyle.
Capitalk 100.4 FM, Harare's top radio station.
Join the conversation with Zimbabwe's top personalities.
Subscribe now for fresh and infotainment content daily.
Capital 100.4 FM, Harare's heartbeat.
These are your sports updates. Zimbabwe's sprint kings Tapiwanashe Makarau and Makanakaishe Charamba have booked their places into the semi-finals of the World Athletics Championships 2025 in the 200 meters qualifying heats. National record holder Makarau clocked a flying 19.91 seconds to win Heat 2, while Charamba stopped the clock at 20.06 seconds in Heat 5, coming in second to Brian Lavelle. Now the pair has now booked places in Thursday's semi-final. However, triple jumper Chengetai Mapaya, the first of the Zimbabwean athletics in competition on the night, could not progress into the final. His best leap of 16.59 meters placed him 8th in his qualification group and 15th overall. Here is Makarau speaking to World Athletic about his sterling season so far.
I just want to thank God for the opportunity. Not everybody get this chance to be here, but I just want to thank God, thanking Jesus for the opportunity to be here and run away with my heat. It feels great, man. I always thank God for that because it's not easy running from, I was an NCAA athlete, running from January until up to now. So seeing myself competing and still running fast until today in September, I still thank God for that. I still thank my coach and everybody who supports me. Like I approach this one, I was still having fun, still focusing on myself, not on anybody, just racing my own race. And
now, the Sports and Recreation Commission, ZRU, has suspended 8 members from the Zimbabwe Rugby Union National Executive Board as the leadership crisis within the sport continues to escalate. And this follows a directive sent out by the SRC body calling for the resignation of the 16-member board, after which only 8 abided. Now, in a statement, the SRC said the 8 have been suspended from all forms of rugby administration and activities in Zimbabwe, including but not limited to holding office under the Zimbabwe Rugby Union. This follows a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the Sports and Recreation Commission. In other sports news, Zimbabwe junior squash players face increased opportunities and international exposure, with inroads being made to facilitate more continental showcases. And the sport continues to make moves to migrate from being a niche sport, with deliberate efforts from the Squash Rackets Association of Zimbabwe to reach wider communities. Now, the vibrant junior circuit is ranked 3rd in Africa, leading to optimism for a stronger regional presence.
We are looking at junior development the whole of Africa. We do have 24 countries that are members of the Squash Federation of Africa, and the emphasis has been junior development. Squash is generally perceived an elite sport, and what we are doing is taking it to the communities. This year I've traveled to about 7 African countries, and I still need to travel to about 8 more. So what I'm doing is meeting the sport authorities and talking to them about junior development, and I'm happy that they are seeing our thrust in terms of junior development, and we're hoping that we will do a lot for junior development. And I know of certain countries that have even admitted, countries like Cameroon, they've admitted that squash is generally played at private clubs, but there is need for squash to be taken to communities. And as a result, I know with Cameroon next year, they'll be building squash courts in different regions so that it is accessible to the juniors. Squash at private clubs is not much accessible to especially disadvantaged kids who cannot afford membership fees But I'm happy with the arrangement that has been done, that we are seeing today. The launch of this club, juniors are able to access this facility.
A lot of the efforts around the sport have been targeted towards readiness for the Olympics, and Zimbabwe is pinning hopes on the rising talent to make an impact when the time is right.
We have been trying for the past 40 years to get into the Olympics and failing, but I'm happy that now it's going to be happening, and hopefully we are also going to showcase the sport in 2032 in Australia. I'm quite positive that will happen. Yes, what it means is that squash will be marketed, it will be visible, and it's also a motivating factor for squash players, especially juniors, to aim high and hope to play in the Olympics one day. So it is quite an important event that squash will be at the Olympics.
Still on sport, the Zimbabwe Chess Federation has sent a 6-member team to Kazakhstan for the World Cadets Tournament that is scheduled for the 18th of September to the 1st of October. Now, the team is made up of Natalie Ndoro, Atida Mukono, Abdiel Mutakiwa, Jemima Masarira and Princess Ngube, who were victorious in the under-10 and under-12 qualifiers that were played in June.
Happened was June 2025. This year, we did a qualifiers tournament specifically for those World Cadets. So the qualifiers were done at Hague Park Primary School, and all of these were winners at that tournament, and they qualified for their sports for Kazakhstan.
Now, the team will be using this opportunity to sharpen their skills as they aim to become household chess players.
Zimbabwe Chess Federation has always been sending players outside the country. Last year, we went to the African Youth, which was done in South Africa, and they performed very well. This year, I'm so happy because it's 5 of them going to the World Cadets, which is also an improvement on both the parents' support for chess, and also a big thank you to Kazakhstan as they also assisted in our travel. There are going to be 87 countries which will be taking part in Kazakhstan from all over the world. So this will be quite very significant in their progression in chess. As young as they are, we are looking forward to be having our national champions very soon from this team as they get that exposure from the world.
And that's a wrap on Newsplus this Wednesday evening. My name is Wadzanai Sansole. It's a good night from myself and the crew behind the scenes. Do tune in again tomorrow for some latest news.